How often do we see people on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat of them at the airport posting pictures of the plane they are going to be flying on? In this video, we are going to learn how we can use open source intelligence to find this person's location, the exact location, by locating the aircraft location. Hello and welcome to this channel. My name is Saad from CyberSudo. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and follow us on social media for more exclusive content. Now, before we get started, there are some terminologies that you need to know. The first one is called a call sign. And a call sign is basically the identifier that an aircraft uses during a flight. And it's the identifier that gets printed on your boarding pass when you are flying on this particular flight. Now, the second one is the registration number, and the registration number is basically the license plate of this airplane. And the third one is called MSN, or the manufacturer serial number, which is a unique identifier that's assigned with this particular aircraft. And this is basically the MAC address of this aircraft. Now, by using the registration number or the MSN or the call sign, we can get detailed information about this aircraft. Information such as where the current location of this flight right now, where it's going from which airport, and where it's going to land, and at which time, and who is the owner of this aircraft, and all the historical records of the aircraft routes. Now, with that being said, let's start and see how we can identify someone's location just by using the registration number of a certain flight. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's start our video. Alright, so here we have a picture of someone who is standing in an airport, and behind this man we have two flights, and in one of those flights we have a registration number that we can copy it and search for it. Now, this man is holding, I think, a certificate, and he's in an airport. And when we look at the person name, or maybe the company name, okay, this is the company name or the training place, we can see that it's in Fort Lauderdale Executive Jet Center. But what we want to do right now is to ignore this right now and search for this flight. So what we want to do first is just to save this image on our desktop just by copying the URL and just typing download an Instagram picture on Google, and then you can download it from one of these free services. And after you download it, you can actually zoom in it and zoom in and out, and this is gonna be useful. And what we are going to do in this video is that we want to locate where this person exactly is standing. Now, we can see the registration number. We can copy it, put it in here in our notepad, and then we can go to a website called Jet Photos. And Jet Photos is one of the biggest databases that has pictures of flights. And what we can basically do is just put the aircraft registration number that we have copied previously. So let's copy it from here and put it here and hit enter. And you can see the picture of this flight that we have seen it before. So let's compare it. So it's a white aircraft with a red logo and some red lines. And we can see more details by looking at this picture. When we scroll down, we can see the photo date and upload date, which is important. And the photo location is in Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport. And this is the code of the airport in Florida. We can also see the registration number of this aircraft and the aircraft type or name, model, and the airline and the serial number. Now, after we get the registration number, what we can do is we can track this flight down. So we can go to a website like Flight Radar, and in Flight Radar, what you can actually do is just, you can see that this is a live map of the flights that are flying right now. And let's click on a random flight, let's say this one, for example. And you can see that it's from London that's going to New York. And you can see that we have scheduled departure date or time and the scheduled arrival time and it's on 9:45 p.m. And you can see that there is 5 hours and 14 minutes for arrival, and we can see some other information like the aircraft type and the registration number and the country of registration and some other information. We can also see some locks in here, which means that you need a subscription to get the information. Now let's go and put the registration number that we have got it from our previous flight, which is this one, and we can track it live. So I'm gonna click on it and say show on map, and you can see that here is the flight that we are tracking. So as you can see, it's moving, and this is a live view of the flight flying. And you can see the country of registration, the registration number, and the aircraft type as we've seen it in the Jet Photos website. Now we can also copy the number again and put it in another website, which is called Flight Aware. I'm gonna put it in here and then click on it, and you can see that it was in the airport FXE, which is the airport code, and now it's flying live, as you can see. We can also see more information such as the height of it and the speed, and let me put this in English so that you can understand. So we have the altitude and we also have the speed. We can also see the history of this flight. So you can see this is we have 2 weeks of history. So for now, the current flight that it's flying, it is from Fort Lauderdale Executive Jet Center, and we don't have the arrival because once it's arrived, we will see where it arrived, because right now it's flying and we don't know where it's going to land. Now you can see that the owner is this company. Of course, we can copy the name of this company and look for it online to see the real name of the owner of this company. But we are not going to do this right now, because what we are going to do in this video is to locate where this person is actually standing. So we know that this person is standing in the airport of Florida, and this is the code of it, FXE. This is the airport. And then we can locate his location by looking at the picture. But for now, we know that he's in the United States. We know where they fly normally to these places, from Florida to this beach air park and so on. Because if you are looking at a private jet, for example, you can actually view where this private jet is actually going and where it was in the past 7 or 14 days. Now this record is for free. You can see that we have 14 days for free. In Flight Radar we have 7 days for free when we look at the history of this flight. For example, when we click on here, you can see that this is the flight history for the aircraft and the exact date and time of this and where it's flying and where it landed. We can also view the route that it took when it was flying. So here we have 7 days for free. In Flight Aware we have 14 days for free, and you can also see the registration. Like when we click on it, you can see the name of the company, which is this one in Florida. And just by looking at this company, we can copy this name and search for it online to see who is the owner of this company, but we're not going to do this right now. Now let's copy the registration again and go to another website which is similar and paste the number here, and let's say locate on map, and here it is. It's flying. As you can see, here's the red line, and it was in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale in Florida, and now it's flying. We can get some information like the latitude and longitude. Now we can also look at the aircraft details information by going to this website which is called Airframes. All we have to do is just to put the registration number and then submit it, and here we get some information like the manufacturer company, the model, the type, and some more information and its current status. Now of course, if we want to get more information, we have to subscribe, but we don't want to do this right now. Another website that we can use is called airfleets.net. All we have to do is just to put the registration number and hit search. And you can see that we haven't got a result, but this website is something that you can put in your field kit so that you can use it later. Now, there is a beginner guide to flight tracking that I'm going to add in the description of this video or in my blog so that you can understand more information or understand how they were able to locate a flight by looking at this case study. I think it's very interesting. I'm going to put its link in the description on how they use these websites to track the flight. So by now we know that this person, let's come back, that this person is in Fort Lauderdale, and we don't need to look at this because we already know this by looking at the map that we have seen it before, the live map. This airplane was in Fort Lauderdale and this airport. And what we can do is just open, let me see. Let's open the maps by Google, Bing, and DuckDuckGo, which is Apple Maps, and Yandex. I think these are good sources or resources to view the airport from different angles. So let's refresh the page here. And I'm going to add the airport code. So it was FX something. Let me check again. Okay, so it's FXE. Let's copy it and paste it. And then let's say airport Fort. Okay, this is the one. So this is the airport, as you can see. This is the airport that we are looking for. What I do is I look at these images and see like the airport from many angles. For example, like this one, we can see the airports from many angles. And what we're going to do is that you can see that this is called Fort Lauderdale Executive Jet Center when we added the FXE. And just by adding the FXE, we know that the person was actually standing in this area. And by going to flight radar, let me see his, okay, so let's click on this journey by clicking on play. So it was sitting in this place at the end of the airport on the right side by Fort Lauderdale Executive Jet Center. So it wasn't here or here or here. It was standing in here. And when we fast forward the journey, we can see that it landed as well in this place. So it's at the end of the airport on the right side. So let's go to Google, and we can do this using Bing, Apple Maps, and Apple Maps is the exact same as DuckDuckGo. If you want to use Apple Maps, you can use it on DuckDuckGo, and you can also use Yandex if you want. But for now, we're going to use Google, and I'm going to change this to the satellite view and zoom here. And then I'm going to say more and use this option, which is the globe view. I'm going to say satellite. And let's look at the picture again. Now let's look at this person's image and see where this man is actually standing. Now we can see that we have two flights, and under this wing we have red and white color. And behind these two flights, we have like a corner on this side, like there is a corner where a flight or an aircraft can go left. And we have the C sign, and there is another sign that is standing in vertical, and this is horizontal. So we know that this person is actually standing on the right side of the airport, which is this place. It is in Fort Lauderdale Executive Jet Center, and we have got this by tracking the flight. And when we zoom in, let's zoom in for example, And you can see here that there is white and red line. And you can see that we have C2, for example, here, which means that this is the C line. I believe this is the C line, and the flight is actually standing here or here or here or here. So this man is actually standing on this line like this, and we can know this by looking at the white and red lines. And we know that this man is standing here by looking at this C sign, and we can know that we have a C sign in here. So our job right now is to look where we have a vertical C sign or a horizontal C sign and a vertical C sign. So when we go forward, we can see that we have two signs in here. We have a vertical one, and we have horizontal one and the vertical one. And under this vertical one, there is no red and white line. Beside this horizontal C sign, we have red and white, just like in here, line. Another thing that we can make sure by looking at this image is that there is a corner by looking at this image. And you can see that there is also here a corner going to left, which means that this person was actually standing just right here in front of two aircrafts. So the black aircraft in here is this white one, but of course this is not an updated image. You can see it by looking here. And the other one, this one, is the one on the left side. Now you can see that behind this man, like, let's zoom in, we have several buildings that are white or yellow, and there is some black dots inside of them. Now by using Google and trying to view this in 3D, like this is where the man is standing right now, and if we are taking a picture from here, we can see that we have yellow buildings and some black dots. So you can see there are some aircrafts in here, and here are the black dots that we see here, and these are the yellow buildings. You can also see that there are several buildings on the left side, like there is this one and this one and this one and this one. So there are 4 buildings, and by looking at the left side, we can see this is the first one, this is the second one that has this text, and you can see that we have a text in here. It's not visible, but we can see that it has a text just like here. And we have this one as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the first one, second, third, and fourth building. So these are the 4 buildings, and we were able to identify where this man's location. So he is standing beside this black and white jet. He is standing exactly right here and taking a picture from this angle, and that's why we are seeing these black dots and yellow buildings. So in this video, we have learned how we can identify someone's location just by looking at the serial number or registration number of the flight that we have saw in the picture, and then we were able to track where this flight travels every day and in which airport it lands. And then we have used Google Maps to locate this man's location by looking at what's behind this man, and also what are the things that are special that makes the place that this man in unique, like this C sign or this red and white line, etc. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and follow us on social media for more content.